What's up, crypto fam? It's Blake here at Boost Portfolio. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why the Bitcoin crash is actually a good thing. And we're also going to talk about how we pick the bottom and how we identify the changing of a trend. Okay, so without further ado, none of this is financial advice, not a financial advisor. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I spent mine on the North Shore of Oahu at the beach house. It's very relaxing. Let's get into Bitcoin. All right, so what's going on with Bitcoin? Okay, from a macro perspective, we're still in a downtrend, guys. Okay, so I know a lot of you are wanting to try to pick the bottom. If you go on Twitter or Instagram or any of the social media sites, you'll see a ton of people posting about, oh, I've been accumulating this altcoin, I'm buying this coin, everything is buy, right? There's a problem with that. We're still in a bear market, all right? So there's a lot of risks still out there. If we're still in a bear market and we're buying things in a bear market, there's still that risk that it's going to keep falling because the trend is down and the trend is your friend, provided you're on the right side of the trend, right? Okay, so what are we doing with our model portfolio? Well, as you guys know that follow in Telegram. By the way, if you're not in Telegram, make sure you go ahead and click the link below. I'm putting it below. In Telegram, I give you access to my model portfolio, how I'm managing my money, the trades that I'm making. So as you guys know, we took a very, very small position in Bitcoin last night, right around the 7,100 area. It was looking like it wanted to gain some momentum, potentially make a run to the 20 MA. We haven't gotten there. Okay, so Monday morning we wake up and we're down. Seems to be pretty standard these days. So what am I doing? Well, I never get all the way or fully into a position with my first entry. Okay, it's always a very, very small position with my first entry because why? We're testing the waters. Okay, you don't want to go all in with your first entry and have all of your capital at risk. Okay, so we're still at around 90% cash. Okay, we took a very, very small position in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts to close below this blue line, this moving average, which currently is right around the 6,600 area, then I'll go ahead and liquidate that position. I'll take a small loss on that. No big deal. And it's no big deal because we have a very small initial position. Okay, so Bitcoin's still in a downtrend. The 20 MA is still moving downwards and the trend is down. So instead of trying to pick the bottom, instead of trying to catch a falling knife and pinpoint the exact moment where Bitcoin's going to turn, well, I like to try to anticipate the trend. All right, so that's what we're doing here. We see this trend line starting to curl, this moving average starting to curl up. We have some green candles closing above that moving average, potentially indicating that a trend change could be occurring, okay? But as you guys know, I won't take a full position until we can clear some of this major resistance and actually break out potentially above this 95, 9,300 area. That would be a green light add for me, okay? So until that happens, I'm sitting out. I'm on the bench still. Hands are under my butt, and I'm waiting for the coach to put me in. But that being said, I'm still going to be aggressive, and if the market gives me a signal, I'm going to go ahead and try and take the signal. If it doesn't work out for me on my first try, like this one kind of isn't working out yet, still not out of this position, but if we start breaking below, as you guys know, I'll get out. So make sure that you are scaling into and scaling out of positions, okay? You don't all want to go all in at once and all out at once. Now, just couple more things here, and then we're going to move into why this crash is actually a good thing. Now, the 200-day moving average is a very, very important moving average, and we are closing below that moving average for the past, let's call it 2-3 weeks. Okay, so that's not a good sign. We're broke below this moving average on 3/14 and came back, tested it here, and got rejected heavily. Okay, we still haven't recovered. We're starting to move back above this moving average, this whole moving average. And if we can get some momentum up to this red resistance line, then I'll go ahead and add some more. Okay, so until that happens, I'm sitting out. Now, a lot of the people that are on Instagram and Twitter, they like to try to pick a bottom. I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know if they're just completely scared that they're going to miss out on the next bull run. My personal strategy is to capitalize on the trends. My whole investment philosophy is derived from trend following. And to me, it makes a lot more sense to why not just get in when we know that there's a strong signal and the direction of the trend has actually changed to a bullish scenario. That way, the risk of it being a bear market is nothing if you're in a bull market, right? And also, if I'm putting all my money in trying to buy the dip and it keeps dropping, well, now all of my money that I invested is now disintegrating. So I'd rather miss the first 15% of a trend and get in late. Maybe I missed the first 15, 20% even. Get in late on a confirmed uptrend and then ride that uptrend. Maybe I catch only 60% of it, okay? But that's completely fine because that's my strategy. That's what works for me. Preservation of capital. Okay, so that's how I'm playing this right now. Now, I wanted to talk to you about a couple reasons why the Bitcoin crash is actually a good thing. Okay, so first off, okay, markets don't go one direction. Markets go up and down. They don't go up or down, okay? The investors that were first-time investors, maybe the investors that never invested in anything or never invested in crypto and heard about Bitcoin and thought Bitcoin was going up every single day, so they decided to buy some, and maybe they got in, late, maybe around this 15,000, above 10, even above 10,000. Okay, they're feeling pain right now. Okay, but all of these FOMO buyers, these people up here that were buying and calling for Bitcoin 100,000, Bitcoin 200,000, yeah, that's still potentially a possibility, but not this year, in my opinion. Okay, first we have to get out of this bearish trend. But what's happening is all of these FOMO buyers, these fear of missing out on this 200,000 Bitcoin, they're feeling a lot of pain right now, and it's shaking them out. Okay, so we're seeing weak hands leave the market. The investors, the traders that got in for really no apparent reason other than the fact that they thought that they were going to get rich quick, those people are starting to leave the market. So that's a good thing, right? We don't want weak hands holding Bitcoin, all right? And until those weak hands get really shaken out of the market, I don't see Bitcoin really going on a huge bull run until that can happen. All right. Secondly, the reason that this Bitcoin crash is a good thing is markets go in cycles. They go through cycles of extreme fear and extreme greed. Okay. Back here, this was extreme greed. This is panic buying. Everybody back here is extremely greedy, betting on Bitcoin 100,000, Bitcoin 500,000. That was the only scenario that they had in their mind. All right. With no regard to the risk. Now, all of these FOMO buyers, all these people that got in back here are now feeling that pain and are being taught a good lesson in risk management, which I hope that's why you guys, one of the reasons you follow me, I think I do a pretty good job of managing risk. And I think that's evident in both the model portfolio with crypto and also the model portfolio in the Roth IRA. So people are being taught a lesson on risk here. That's a good thing. People need to be conditioned by the market that, hey, maybe, the market doesn't just go up every single day. They actually have money at risk. So that is one thing to keep a close eye on. How much further downside do we need to go? How many more people need to be taught a lesson? Okay, and third and lastly, like I said, these markets move in waves of fear and greed. I'm seeing a lot of fear. Okay, if I go to any website, I go on Twitter, everybody seems to be calling for more downside, more downside, more downside. So lots and lots of fear. Everybody's thinking, okay, maybe Bitcoin comes and tests this 4,500. Maybe Bitcoin tests this 3,300. Okay, that's pretty much the narrative that I'm seeing on all of the, social media sites and Reddit and things like that. Everybody's pretty much calling for more downside. Now, maybe that plays out. The trend is still bearish. The trend is to the downside. But when you see those extremes, and I talked about this in my last video, when you see those extremes of everybody's calling for, 100,000 Bitcoin, okay, that's potentially a reversal, right? That's when it's going to drop. And when you see everybody calling for a $3,000 Bitcoin, that could be a potential area of extreme fear, and everybody's just all washed out of it. And now it's potentially another run, another rally off of that reversal of that extreme fear level. And I'll give you guys one more reason. Lower prices are good for bigger gains, right? If I could pick up Bitcoin at $3,000, man, I would be ecstatic. I'd be buying Bitcoin with both hands if it dropped to $3,000 because, first off, I believe Bitcoin is going to be a very valuable asset in 10 years from now. Okay, so falling prices is a good thing, and it gives you a chance for better gains. All right, so that's what I wanted to cover in today's video. And finally, I'm sorry, one more thing. Buying the bottom, okay? It's very hard to pinpoint the bottom. It's very hard to pinpoint the exact moment the asset, whatever you're looking at, is going to turn. The way to really capitalize on the gains is just being patient and waiting for a trend change rather than it drops, 20% overnight. And because it drops 20% overnight, that's where you buy. Maybe it dropped 20% for a reason, right? Okay, maybe there's more downside. Maybe there's news that hasn't came out that hasn't hit everybody yet. Okay, so my point being is be careful out there. Okay, don't go all in. Manage risk appropriately and wait till you have a strong market signal to load the boat. And if you follow me in Telegram, you guys will have the easiest signal of all. I'll say, hey, I'm loading the boat. All right. And you'll also be able to see access to my own personal model portfolio, all of my percentages, my cash positions. So make sure you guys go ahead and get in there. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you again tomorrow.